If you are an online high ticket expert or a coach, consultant, or a service provider who is selling any high ticket program or service online, then chances are you might have heard this advice online from marketing gurus, people who are telling you to niche down and select a very hyper specific market segment in order to differentiate yourself from the competitors and get clients online. I feel it's a very dumb advice, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why niching down is actually hurting your business and what actually needs to be done instead. See, it doesn't matter whatever funnel you're using. You might be using a VSL funnel, you might be using a webinar funnel, you might be running Facebook ads to get sales calls, get people on sales calls, or you might just be posting content online, not even running any advertisements at all. Whatever funnel you're using in order to get clients, what you need to understand is that the moment you start niching down or going hyper specific with the market segment, what you're actually doing is you are limiting your reach, and you're sending these signals to social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You're sending signals to the algorithm that you do not have a large audiences, and very specific people actually find your content valuable, or very specific people actually find your ads or whatever you have to offer valuable, and because of which it decreases your reach, and growing and scaling your business becomes extremely difficult. Okay, I'm saying regardless of whether you're posting organic content, or regardless of you might be running Facebook ads as well, right? So whatever. So this is what we need to understand. When we go hyper niche, we need to do more work in order to reach to those specific people, the specific segment in the market, right? I'll give you an example of Facebook ads. Facebook ads has a metric that we call as CPM. CPM means cost to reach 1,000 people, or cost to show ads to 1,000 people, cost per milli. Now, if your market is extremely hyper specific, if your market is extremely small, then Facebook ads or the algorithm would have to do more work, more and more work, in order to find those hyper specific ideal clients profile, hyper specific people. It would have to show ads to more and more people in order to find those hyper specific type of people, which will result in increased cost of acquiring those leads, or increased cost of reaching those 1,000 impressions, right? So cost per milli. And that is why niching down has always been a terrible advice. But then why do people ask you to niche down? When you niche down, you're not differentiating. You're trying to tell that, okay, you are just very good at a very specific market, and your solution does not work for a broader market. Okay, so it can easily backfire your authority as well in the longer run. So instead, what you need to do is you need to understand you don't have to select a very specific niche or very specific market segment. Instead, what you need to do is concept that we call as owning the problem. You have to own a specific problem. I'll give you a simple example. This is something that I learned from Donald Miller. He's the author of best-selling book named Building a Story Brand. In order to explain the concept of owning the problem, he actually shares a very interesting example. He says, in the dog training niche, where there are a lot of competitors and a lot of people who are selling dog training solutions, a way you could differentiate yourself, or a way by which you can own a problem, is by targeting a very hyper specific problem. Okay, a hyper specific problem in a dog training niche could be, does your dog constantly start barking and misbehaving as soon as someone rings the bell? This could be a very specific problem in the dog training market. So you can become an authority of solving this specific problem, very specific problem. And there are people who are facing this problem, for whom this problem is extremely critical, so they're ready to pay large amount of money in order to get this hyper specific problem solved. So let's say I'm a dog owner, and my dog named Bruno is misbehaving. He's constantly starts barking, and I'm a salesperson. Let's say I have an online business, and when I'm taking sales calls, Bruno just starts barking loudly, and suddenly it disturbs the client on the other end as well, and I might end up losing a lot of sales. Okay, and I just put out all my frustration on that particular dog, right, on Bruno. So this is a very big problem for me now. So let's say if I'm seeing two different ads on Facebook, one of the ads is saying, okay, we are experts at dog training. Other ad is saying that we are experts at helping you stop the problem of dog barking as soon as someone rings the bell. What would I buy? Which ad would I prefer to click on? Of course, the right one, right? From my perspective, it's the right one. So this is what we need to understand. You have to own a very specific problem in your market, a very specific problem. Here's a small sheet that I created in order to give you really drive the point through and give you a perspective how exactly do you own a problem, right? So what we need to understand is all of you have different markets, right? So someone could be a life coach, someone could be a business coach, some of you could be helping restaurants or something like that. So these all are market segments. All of the columns here in this sheet are market segments. Now what we need to understand is inside all of these segments there is something that we call as the problem ladder. Okay, because different people in the whole market, in that particular market segment, let's say business coaches, right? So in the market of business coaches, people are facing different problems at different levels, right? So it rarely happens that all of your market, like your full market, is just facing one single problem. It never happens like that, right? So there are different people at different levels. That is what we call as specific problems that they're facing, right? Which I have written for your reference in the rows in the A column, right? So in this specific market, which is of business coaches, some people might be there who are just thinking to start a business. I don't know, right? They're just confused with information, overwhelmed. Now, this is a very specific problem that you can own, right? You can become an authority to solve this problem. And I'm just giving you example here. You can just try to be very hyper specific with the problem as well, because it does not depend on it does not directly depend on the size of the market. Then a second problem. So I have written down all of these problems in ascending order. So this could be someone who is thinking of starting a business. This could be someone, okay, in the 13th row, this could be someone who has already started his business. He has been in business since the last multiple years, and now he is facing some other problems while scaling, right? So this is one of the hyper specific problem. Another hyper specific problem could be they don't know what to sell, how to create an offer. Another problem could be not able to get leads. Another specific problem could be not able to get good quality leads, right? So if you understand, like, there would be people who are just struggling with getting leads, and then there would be some other people who are getting some leads, but the bigger problem is that they think that the leads are not of good quality, right? So this is how you have to define the hyper specific problem that you're solving, and then you have to become the authority in solving that particular hyper specific problem, that one specific problem that no one can beat you when it comes to solving it, right? And this is how you become an authority. This is how you actually differentiate yourself without trying to hyper niche and sub niche and all those selecting a profitable niche frameworks, without having to do all of that, without having to limit your market. You can easily solve this problem and you can easily scale your business. And the best part, the moment you start positioning yourself around a very specific problem, you'll start attracting people from different markets as well. Different markets. So let's say you're helping business coaches with their sales videos. Okay, so their sales videos are not converting. So this is the cell, right? Let me color that cell. Okay, awesome. Now this might be your positioning. You're helping business coaches with sales videos which are not converting, right? Now whatever ads you create for yourself, whatever landing pages you create for yourself, or however you are attracting these clients, right? The messaging that you will be using here, it will end up attracting other people from other markets who might be having the exact same problem as well, right? So you could end up attracting maybe experts and marketers who are having a problem of, okay, if their VSLs are not performing or their sales videos are not performing. You might end up attracting people from this agency's market who are exactly facing the exact same problem again, right? You could attract life coaches who are facing a problem with their sales videos. So this is how it works. You're not limiting your market by going hyper specific with the problem and owning the problem. You're actually expanding your market. You're expanding your surface area. You're making it more and more easy for you and for Facebook to track down the exact person you can help the best. Your services will be the most valuable for them, and that exact person will be dying to buy your offer. He would be willing to pull out his credit card and give you as much money as you ask him, right? This is how it works. I hope this video added value. I'll leave a link to this document below this video. Very quick video. I'll see you in the next one.